In a world where the value of money seems to shrink every day, there are still places where a single dollar stretches so far it almost feels unreal. Places where an ordinary traveler suddenly becomes someone of privilege. Picture narrow alleys glowing in warm twilight, street stalls sizzling with spices, mountain villages wrapped in cold mist, and oceans so blue they seem impossible. Now imagine walking through these landscapes knowing that everything around you, food, shelter, transport, even comfort, costs only a fraction of what you're used to. This journey takes you across 10 countries where life is astonishingly affordable, where culture is rich, and where simplicity meets beauty in ways that defy logic. From the chaos of bustling markets to the silence of high mountain passes, these destinations reveal a strange truth. The world is uneven, unpredictable, and surprisingly generous to those willing to explore it. Vietnam, a land where small coins carry big value. Vietnam stands as one of the most surprising places where the value of money multiplies the moment you arrive, a country where life hums between ancient temples, neon-lit streets, and the endless aroma of street food drifting through the air. In cities like Hanoi, Saigon, and Da Nang, the cost of a full meal can be less than what a cup of coffee costs in many Western countries. Bowls of steaming pho, plates of fresh spring rolls, or a strong sweet iced coffee can be found for just a handful of small bills, turning every meal into a feast that feels both affordable and deeply cultural. Housing ranges from simple guest houses to modern apartments, many costing a fraction of global prices while still offering comfort and proximity to vibrant neighborhoods. Motorbikes weave through the streets like a rushing river of color, and even daily transportation is incredibly cheap, whether you hop on a bus, rent a scooter, or use a ride-hailing app. Local markets such as Ben Thanh or Dong Xuan overflow with fruits, spices, and handmade goods, each transaction reminding you how far your money can stretch. Yet the true richness of Vietnam comes from its people, warm, resilient, and endlessly resourceful, who bring life to every corner of the country. Here, affordability merges with energy, history, and flavor to create an experience where the cost is low, but the impression it leaves is unforgettable. India, a nation where chaos meets extraordinary affordability. India is a country that overwhelms every sense at once: color, sound, heat, movement, and yet beneath this electric exterior lies one of the most affordable lifestyles on the planet. In cities like Delhi, Jaipur, Kolkata, and Chennai, the price of daily life drops to levels that astonish even the most seasoned travelers. A hearty plate of biryani, a fragrant cup of masala chai, or a full vegetarian thali can cost less than what many people spend on a snack elsewhere in the world. Transportation is equally inexpensive. Rickshaws zip through traffic for pocket change, buses carry thousands across vast cities for almost nothing, and long-distance trains, icons of India's rhythm, offer journeys that are both cheap and deeply cultural. Markets like Chandni Chowk or New Market burst with spices, textiles, and handcrafted goods, where bargaining is not just expected but celebrated as part of the experience. Even accommodation, whether a guest house in Varanasi or a hostel in Mumbai, is accessible at prices that make extended travel possible for almost anyone. Yet affordability is only part of India's paradox. It is a land where ancient traditions stand beside rapid urban expansion, where temples, mosques, and palaces coexist with modern skyscrapers, and where incredible hospitality is extended even in the poorest neighborhoods. India challenges expectations, rewrites the meaning of value, and offers a life so full of sensations and stories that the low cost feels like a secret hidden in plain sight. Here, money stretches far, but what you gain goes far beyond the currency you spend. Nepal, the mountain kingdom, where pennies become pathways to adventure. Nepal is a place where the world suddenly slows down, where cold mountain air mixes with the scent of incense, and where even the smallest budget opens the door to breathtaking landscapes. In Kathmandu, the chaotic heart of the country, narrow alleys twist around ancient stupas and small, family-run eateries serve steaming plates of momo and dalbat for just a few modest bills. The affordability here is not an illusion. Guest houses, local buses, and daily meals all cost so little that long-term travel becomes not only possible, but effortless. But the true wonder of Nepal lies beyond the capital, in the towns of Pokhara, Lukla, and Namche Bazaar. Where the Himalayas rise like frozen giants, and trekking becomes the main rhythm of life. Even multi-day treks through places like the Annapurna region or the Everest foothills can be managed on a surprisingly small budget, with tea houses offering warm beds, simple meals, and unforgettable views at prices few other countries can match. Local transport, rickety but reliable, carries travelers between valleys and villages for the equivalent of loose change, while markets overflow with handcrafted jewelry, prayer flags, and wool garments that reflect centuries of tradition. Life here is slower, more communal, and deeply spiritual, shaped by Buddhist and Hindu influences that permeate every temple and mountain pass. Nepal may be economically humble, but the richness of its culture, its landscapes, and the kindness of its people creates an experience that feels priceless. In this high-altitude world, money doesn't just stretch. It transforms into something far more meaningful: access to serenity, adventure, and a sense of timeless wonder. Yemen, a fragile land where hospitality outshines hardship. Yemen is a place many only hear about through headlines, yet behind the turmoil lies a culture so warm, so generous, and so deeply human that even the smallest amount of money can sustain a life filled with meaning. In Sana'a, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, ancient tower houses built of mud and stone rise like ornate sculptures, their windows glowing with green and amber glass. Despite the country's struggles, daily life remains astonishingly affordable. A plate of salta or mandi costs little more than a few small bills, and traditional markets, souks filled with spices, incense, coffee beans, and silverware, offer goods at prices that feel frozen in time. Transportation, whether by shared taxi or minibus, is inexpensive, connecting towns like Shibam and Al-Hajara where life moves slowly and traditions endure. What surprises most travelers is the hospitality. Even families with limited means will insist on sharing tea, fruit, or an entire meal, treating guests as honored visitors. Beyond the cities, the Hadramaut Valley shelters ancient settlements, where tall mud brick buildings rise from the desert like forgotten fortresses. Here, the cost of living is low, not because life is easy, but because simplicity defines everything. Meals are communal, generosity is cultural, and survival is shared. Yemen's affordability is inseparable from its resilience, a reminder that value is not always measured in currency. Despite hardship, the spirit of the people remains unbroken, offering travelers a rare and profound glimpse into a world where kindness remains abundant even when resources are not. Cambodia, a gentle land where life flows slowly and affordably. Cambodia is a country where time seems to move at its own pace, a place of warm smiles, golden temples, and streets humming softly with the rhythm of daily life. In Phnom Penh, the capital lying beside the wide Mekong, simple pleasures come at incredibly low cost. A bowl of kaitiv or a plate of fragrant ama can be enjoyed for just a small amount of money. And street vendors line the sidewalks with grilled meats, sticky rice, and fresh tropical fruit, each bite rich in flavor yet light on the wallet. Siem Reap, the gateway to the legendary Angkor Wat, offers guest houses, bicycle rentals, and local meals for surprisingly little, making extended stays accessible for travelers watching their budget. Even transportation, tuk-tuks weaving through narrow streets or buses crossing the countryside, remains inexpensive and widely available. Rural towns like Battambang reveal Cambodia's gentler side, rice fields stretching into the horizon, wooden stilt houses, and evening markets filled with laughter and the aroma of street snacks. Though the country carries the weight of a difficult past, its people are known for their calm resilience and open-hearted friendliness. Life here is uncomplicated yet deeply colorful, shaped by Buddhist traditions, community culture, and the tropical landscapes that define the nation. Ethiopia, a historic world where ancient cultures meet astonishing affordability. Ethiopia is unlike any other place on Earth, a nation where ancient kingdoms, desert churches, and highland villages blend into a landscape filled with mystery and depth. In Addis Ababa, the capital that pulses with music, coffee aromas, and bustling markets, daily life is surprisingly inexpensive. A plate of injera with rich stews, a cup of traditional Buna coffee roasted before your eyes, or a full meal shared with locals often costs no more than a few small bills. Guest houses and local transport remain extremely affordable, making it easy to explore the country's vast cultural tapestry. Journey north, and you'll find the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, carved deep into the earth centuries ago, where the sense of history feels alive in every carved archway. To the west, Gondar's royal castles rise like echoes of an African medieval age, and even here, accommodations and meals remain within reach for travelers on limited budgets. Further south, the Omo Valley reveals one of the world's most diverse regions, home to tribal communities with elaborate body art and rituals that have remained unchanged for generations. Markets burst with colors, spices, woven baskets, pottery, and handicrafts sold at prices that would shock visitors from wealthier nations. Ethiopia's affordability is not just economic, it's woven into daily life. From shared meals to communal ceremonies where hospitality is a cultural expectation, the nation offers an experience both ancient and vibrant, proving that you don't need wealth to witness some of the world's most awe-inspiring traditions. The Philippines, island beauty wrapped in remarkable affordability. The Philippines is a place where turquoise waters meet palm-fringed shores, where the laughter of local markets mixes with the soft crash of waves, and where life unfolds at a pace as gentle as the sea breeze. Despite its breathtaking landscapes, the cost of living here remains surprisingly low, creating a rare balance between paradise and affordability. In Palawan, often called one of the most beautiful islands in the world, simple beach huts, grilled seafood, and tricycle rides cost far less than travelers expect for such a stunning destination. Cebu and Bohol offer the same blend of warm hospitality and budget-friendly comforts. Fresh mango shakes for a few coins, hearty meals of adobo or sinigang for very little money, and island-hopping tours that feel luxurious despite their low price. Even on the popular surf island of Siargao, backpacker hostels, scooter rentals, and local eateries stay accessible to almost any traveler. Transportation across the country, from jeepneys painted in bright murals to ferries carrying passengers between islands, is famously cheap and deeply woven into daily life. The Philippines' affordability is matched only by the kindness of its people, whose generosity and sense of community make visitors feel immediately at home. Whether wandering through bustling markets in Manila or resting under a palm tree in a quiet fishing village, the cost remains low while the richness of the experience grows endlessly. Morocco, a colorful crossroads where your budget stretches like magic. Morocco is a land where ancient markets glow under desert sunsets, where the scent of spices drifts through maze-like alleys, and where life remains surprisingly affordable despite its cinematic beauty. In Marrakech, the buzzing heart of the country, the famous Gemma El Fnas Square erupts each evening with storytellers, snake charmers, and sizzling food stalls, offering fragrant tagines, couscous, and mint tea for just a small amount of money. Even Riyadh's traditional guest houses with tiled courtyards and carved wooden doors can be found at prices that feel almost unreal for such elegance. Beyond the city, Fes reveals an even older world, narrow Medina passages, leather tanneries dyed in vibrant colors, and markets filled with pottery, brass lamps, carpets, and handmade goods sold at costs accessible to any traveler willing to bargain. Transportation remains budget-friendly, with shared taxis and buses connecting towns to the windswept dunes of the Sahara and the blue-painted streets of Chefchaouen. Meals, whether enjoyed in a humble street cafe or a family-run restaurant, stay consistently inexpensive while overflowing with flavor. Even in Casablanca, the country's modern face, daily life, remains far cheaper than in most urban centers around the world. Morocco's value goes beyond affordability. It offers a journey through cultures shaped by Arab, Berber, and African histories, blending them into a vibrant mosaic of sounds, tastes, and traditions. Here, with only a modest budget, you can wander desert caravans, explore centuries-old souks, and listen to the call to prayer echo across ancient rooftops. Indonesia, a tropical giant, where comfort comes at a surprisingly small cost. Indonesia feels like an entire world wrapped inside one country, thousands of islands, countless traditions, and a lifestyle so affordable that even long-term travelers find themselves settling in with ease. Bali, the nation's most famous island, is known globally for its beaches, rice terraces, and temples. Yet life here remains far less expensive than in most tourist destinations of similar beauty. Simple guest houses, scooter rentals, and plates of nasi goreng or mie ayam cost only a small amount of money, allowing visitors to enjoy sunsets, surf spots, and cultural dances without straining their budget. In Yogyakarta, the cultural heart of Java, ancient temples like Borobudur and Prambanan stand near bustling markets where batik textiles, street snacks, and handcrafted souvenirs are sold for just a few modest bills. Lombok and the Gili Islands offer another layer of affordable paradise. Quiet beaches, seafood grilled over coconut coals, and crystal-clear waters perfect for diving or snorkeling, all at costs that surprise even experienced travelers. Public transport remains inexpensive across the archipelago. From local ferries carrying passengers between islands to minivans weaving through villages lined with coconut trees. Despite its rapid development, Indonesia maintains a warm, traditional soul, shaped by community life, spirituality, and open-hearted generosity. Pakistan, the world's cheapest country where hospitality feels royal. Pakistan stands at the top of this list for a simple but astonishing reason. It offers one of the lowest costs of living anywhere on Earth, while delivering landscapes, culture, and generosity that feel truly extraordinary. In cities like Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi, a full meal of biryani, kebabs, or rich curries costs little more than loose change, and cups of sweet chai are shared everywhere, from roadside stalls to quiet courtyards. Apartments, guest houses, and transportation remain incredibly affordable, making the country one of the most accessible destinations for long-term travel. But the true treasure of Pakistan lies in its northern regions. Places like Hunza, Skardu, and Gilgit present some of the world's most dramatic mountain landscapes, glacial lakes reflecting silver peaks, winding valleys carved by ancient rivers, and villages perched above clouds. Despite this grandeur, local inns and home-cooked meals remain remarkably inexpensive. Travelers often speak of Pakistani hospitality as something unforgettable. Strangers invite visitors to share meals, join celebrations, or simply drink tea while watching the sun set behind the mountains. Markets overflow with handmade carpets, pottery, and embroidered fabrics, sold at prices that feel almost impossible. Pakistan is a nation where affordability is not just a convenience, it is a doorway into a culture rich with history, resilience, and kindness. As the journey through these 10 countries comes to an end, an unexpected truth emerges. The worth of a place is not determined by the weight of your wallet, but by the depth of the experiences it offers. Picture sunsets falling over rice fields, fishermen hauling nets from turquoise seas, mountain villages waking to the sound of prayer, and night markets glowing like lanterns across the world. These are moments that cost almost nothing, yet stay with you forever. Affordability becomes more than a number. It becomes an invitation to slow down, to notice, to connect. Once you know these places, you never forget them because they reveal a world where life can be simple, beautiful, and profoundly human without being expensive. What do you think about these countries? Would you travel to one of them? If you enjoyed this journey, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and share this video with someone who loves history and curious places.